Okay, so this morning, gentlemen, we've got Duncan Ledwith with us, who I met with July school holidays last year, just after the launch, and Mr. Ferguson actually put me onto him. The guru of market validation.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. So we are hopefully going to learn a lot more today and add to what perhaps CJ did with us on this week, Monday. That was last week. Anyway, yeah. So it's fair to say they've got a little bit of understanding of market validation, but most of them haven't done much of it yet. We've got a couple of businesses that are up and running that we're hoping to improve efficiency, upscale, etc. We've got some that are getting very close to, they've done lean canvas, working on some MVP, ready to get out there, and then we've got some at the other end who are still trying to land on the next big idea.
Cool.
So I will leave you to it, and hopefully learn as much as you guys do. So the floor is yours. Thank you.
Afternoon. Yes. Nice to meet you. So as Karen said, why would you spend any time with me? So I worked at Microsoft for 20 years. It's on the corporate side. It was about 12 you imagine. I left there. I've founded 11 companies. I've funded another 20 something. I still fund them now. And through the entire journey, the reason for you guys being here is every single mistake you can make in the startup I've made, sometimes more than once. So if you get something out of that and not do yourself, it's worth your time. So that'll be the first aspect. So today's thing is about market validation, which is the thing I wish I'd known when we started at Microsoft and doing the startup thing. So you guys have been doing the startup thing for a while. At places like Microsoft, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, you guys are good at marketing, right? You've got a lot of people, a lot of money, good at marketing. If we describe success as being the product you launched, at least broke even. I don't mean make profit, but at least broke even. Let's call that success. Across the top 1,000 corporates in the US, how many products do you think succeed in percentage terms? This is Microsoft, Procter & Gamble, GE. How many do you think succeed? Break even.
15%? 40?
40, 15?
2.
2? 7. 7%. So you're close, you win. So 7% of products owned by the guys who know what they're doing, have a ton of money, have all the marketing doors, have all the customers, actually just break even. The ones that make money is 4%. That's big guys. So what do you think the ratio is in a startup? The same question. What percent make it?
99.9. I mean, opposite way.
So,
yeah.
0.1%.
1%. Yeah.
1% of startups will achieve and go past break even. 60% fail in 24 months. 70% fail in 3 years. Everywhere around the world. And the weird thing is, this stats hold true wherever you are. It's always the same question. The reason for both is market value. It's actually market validation. So to kick off, there's 3 questions in market validation. And by the way, gentlemen, this is interactive, so you're going to stop. Just put your hand up, just yell out, okay? So this is the very, very first thing I want you to focus on. So before you build anything, website design, hire people, go see customers, any of that stuff, which is in your next life will be you're spending money on these things. Don't spend money, okay, before you do that. The very first question you need to ask, regardless of where you are, Karen's continuum, just started at Cameron's stage in the middle and making money, is what problem do I solve? Shorthand for that is pain point. I'll explain that in a second. So what pain point am I looking to solve? And part 2, so 1B if you like, for who? So at the Ice House, which is, you guys heard of the Ice House? Incubator down in town, it's a big incubator down in town. There's lots around the country now. So we started that in 2005. and we've had 1,200 startups through it since then, I think, that have come and made money. We have a precursor of 90 days where they have to pass market val, or they can't come to the incubator. And the other thing we do for 90 days is the first month is them doing this. So these are adults, experienced business guys. They can't answer this question easily. You need to be able to get this down to 1 or 2 sentences. So to show the point, does anyone want to volunteer what they think is the problem they solve? And if we collectively workshop it quickly, we can boil it down. You always can. This is the single most important thing you can do. Go for it.
So the problem is too busy parents trying to make lunches for their kids.
Right. So who's got the problem?
The parents do.
And what's the manifestation of the problem?
They don't have enough time to, or they can't come up with ideas for their kids' lunches because they don't have enough time to do it.
Right. And what's the problem? So the problem manifests itself as what, kids go hungry, or what's the thing?
The parents just don't have enough time to do it, so they.
What's the solution, right?
What's the solution to it?
So you don't have enough time to make, that's a statement of fact, that's true.
Yeah.
But it doesn't articulate the problem. The problem manifested from that fact would be the kids don't eat lunch, or there's a problem.
Maybe the lunch isn't healthy?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a health thing?
Yeah.
All right, then.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you. Will? So we want a healthy lunch for the kids. So the problem with that is the nutrition of the child is going to the left or right because they don't have time to make lunch.
Yeah.
What's the impact of not providing with this problem, the pain point?
Potential health risks, so heart and muscles,
Okay.
brain as well, especially at school when you have to use your brain quite a lot. If you don't have the right nutrients, your brain won't be able to function at optimal levels.
Okay. So I'm not learning,
As efficiently as you could be, yes.
which I think we'll accept is true, right? Everyone knows that's right. Now, what do you guys think of this as the pain point? Anything you'd add, amend, delete? So it's brain awakeness to learn, and it's the health of the child. So this is the pain point here, not that. That's the fact that makes it come true. So who has the problem?
The child.
The child. Who's going to pay you to fix the problem?
Parents.
Parent. Now this is the dichotomy of your pain point is they're the one with the problem, they're the ones going to pay you.
Right.
So your customer is that for the pain point, but this is your customer for the dollars.
Right.
These guys are going to be giving the money. So you have to now establish a hard link between these two guys. And what's the best way to establish a link between a parent and child?
Unconditional love.
Nice one. From business perspective. What's the one thing you can get to a parent? How can you get to a parent about a child?
Responsibility.
Nearly.
They're responsible for the health of the child.
How about that one?
Oh, right.
Right? Go. So Karen's got kids at school, and you're going to say to her, hey Karen, you're aware that feeding a child healthy foods allows them to learn more effectively and keeps them healthy. And you've got time to do it. I've got a solution that for X pounds a week, or dollars a week, will help you do that. Is she going to listen? Yes. But and the way to do it for people here is, can I get Kieran to want to know more?
Right.
Because if you can't articulate this properly, they don't want to know more, your sales will stop dead in the end. So, sorry. Okay. So once you get pain point here, the way you test this is what we did it to the ice test thing is, you need to go and ask this question, or make this proposition the way we stood with Karen there, to at least 20 live people. 20 Karens, if you can find them. Don't do surveys. You can do Zoom if you like, but it needs to be face to face. Because if you say this out loud, and you have got the proposition correct, you get an emotional reaction. Not because they're parents, but every single person in any sort of business will react. As in, oh, yeah, that is an issue for me. Or, I've seen that before. Or, I can hear what you're talking about. You will, trust me, get an emotional reaction. So you're going to talk to 20 Karens, and what will happen after your first 5, I guarantee you, think about it, your proposition will get better and better and better because you're in a feedback loop now. Because the first 5 Karens will tell you it's something slightly different, then you'll change this, the next one will agree more, and it's a feedback loop. So just go round and round this at least 20 times. Any questions? So it looks deceptively simple, it's because it is. That's all you need to do.
So they should be the potential customers.
So these are 20 Karens, pardon me, Karens, is that right? You think 20 mothers with kids at school, you're going to go talk to them face to face, by Zoom or by anything else. Now what would you do if you go out and you talk to 20 and you're getting no bites, no reaction, no... What would that indicate to you?
That it's not a pain point for people.
It's not a problem. Or, that's exactly correct. The other one it could be, of course, is you're talking to 20 of their own Karens.
Yep.
But with 20 people, that's unlikely. You'd have to be very unlucky.
Yeah.
You might get 2 or 3. I think you're always the one. It's not really a problem. Because the expression marketing, and we teach this in Marketing 301 at the uni, is that buyers are liars. So they'll say this right to the point when it comes to spending money. And then they don't spend money. So therefore it's not a problem.
Right.
Otherwise it would. So we have this, you're asking problem, this is the problem, 20 times round. The next thing for you to check with, I hope you guys do this with your products. If it is a real problem, Ms. Russell, why are you not spending time and money solving it now? What are you doing about it now?
Right.
Because if you're not doing anything, it's really not a problem, is it? It's slightly irritating, it's not a problem. Which loops us back to this thing here, and the shorthand for you guys. I'm sure we all know we should take vitamins, right? We should take daily multivitamin, probably actually not for you, for me, I'm older. But vitamins, discretionary would take them. If you have a headache, are you going to take a painkiller? Yes. You want the problem to be a pain, it needs to kill. So be a painkiller, not a vitamin. Don't be a vitamin. Nobody makes money vitamins apart from big vitamin companies. Does that make sense? Now, so in your academic course here, do you guys go through things like MVPs, CVPs, all that marketing nonsense, the 3 letter words, value props? Cameron mentioned minimum viable products, which we'll come to in a second. So the marketing boards, what do they always talk about the customer value proposition, the CVP. It's the holy grail apparently. So it'll be a distillation of everything I've learned here as an articulation as a prop to the customer. So normally they call it CVP. You haven't got a value prop yet, you've got a draft value prop on what you think you could do about this issue. Does that make sense? It's not fully tuned yet, so it's really a draft, not a customer value prop. And all this is saying, this is what we can do for you, Karen, to resolve this problem that you've told me is so painful. And you don't necessarily have to mention money, we can talk about value point too. You're going to start extracting a value point at this point. But this is what we're going to do for you. Now, if you get this done well, and you play it back to the Karens who you do. So you did 20 calls, developed CVP, went back to these guys. What should happen when you go back to Karen now with your value prop?
You should get a response.
You get a response, right? If you don't get a response, what does that mean?
It's still not a pain point.
So it's still not right. It's still not getting good, because remember, you're having to cut through an awful lot of stuff here: noise, social media, marketing, That's the kind of thing you have to cut through. So the way to test this, the prototype there, you would like Karen, or the mini Karens, to take what we call a sales action. You want to do something. So it doesn't have to be dollars, right? They can say, I'll sign up for your trial. I want to be on the pilot study. I want to be involved somehow. I'll sign an NDA, if that's what you guys need. You want them to do something tangible. And if they don't, it's because this is still not right, or this is still not right. That make sense? So when you've done this, you can probably guess what the first step is, right? You've done this, and you did it well. You've done this, you've done it well, because you've got lots of sales action coming through. What's your next and last step?
Make the MVP. Make the minimum viable product.
Which is kind of that.
Alright.
But you go to the market. But that's right, Cameron. The other last step is, can I make money out of this? Because Cameron might have said, yes, it's a problem, I love it, I'm going to sales buy it, it's only worth $1 a day to me. Making out. Oh, right, okay, well, with my MVP, I can't make $1 a day, I can't make any money on that. So, and we go through all of this you like, and I can share some with you. The lean canvas helps you, so the size of your market, is it a growing market, is it a shrinking market, who are the decision makers, can I make money from solving this problem for Kerry, and she's shown me she'll pay money for it. Questions, observations? This is it, by the way. That was it. That's market.
Oh wow, that's
That's market validation. All you have to do.
with the what if the customer is like in this case, is there any other like way that you can try and target a mother or a father for their children instead of just guilt tripping them?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm being a bit flippant. That was just on lever. No, totally agree. No, you can do value, lifestyle, beliefs,
Okay.
a whole bunch of things.
Because I feel like if I am going to ask them questions, I don't particularly want to just guilt trip them the whole time.
Well, whatever you choose there, meant to be the wrong one. Whatever lever, this is the thing that will make them buy, right?
Right.
So this is the basis of this
Okay.
CVP. I mean, you can use anything you like. So does anyone want to share where they are on this journey as a team, and we can collectively help you move through it? So trust me, it isn't any more complex than this. And every single thing we can do, and I've done this hundreds of times, we can make it more simple and we can make it go faster. Cameron.
I'm kind of at the stage where I've done the MVP, but I'm looking to bring it to the customers.
Yeah.
How do you get the interviews and the connections to get there?
Great question. So you're kind of here.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Do you want to show what it is?
Sure. It's an environmental accreditation standard for restaurants. So looking at getting the customer going to the fine dining restaurants aware of the sustainability of the different restaurants and choosing to go to the ones that are more sustainable.
Yeah, cool. And the problem is with the consumer.
Yes, and with the restaurants, because the restaurants aren't sustainable yet.
All right. So are restaurants losing business because they're not?
No, but they could get more business if they were.
You got any evidence for that?
Yes.
Hit me with it.
All right.
Give me an example. Give me all
Consumer
of
NZ. Consumer NZ says that 80% of New Zealanders prior to COVID would change their buying habits to help their number one priority problem in New Zealand, which they said was environmental sustainability and climate change. Their number two was water safety, which also relates to environmental sustainability.
So 80% of consumers are going to change their behavior to be more sustainable.
Yes. They would, 75% of people in the United States before COVID would spend more for environmentally sustainable products as well.
Do you believe them?
It's hard to say,
Okay.
because you see a survey, you see, would you pay more? You'd probably say yes, because
Yeah.
you think it's the right thing
Yeah.
to do. So I'm not saying it's definitely 80%, but
Yeah.
if it was 40%, I think the restaurant would still make something.
Well, go spend a lot of money on organic, right?
Yeah,
If that's an analogous market,
yeah.
you know, how much money you spend on organic tea versus normal? It'll be a big number.
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods, yeah. Well, what's those guys taking in, i.e. produce? It's always full.
Yeah.
So 80% say they would spend dollars. So the problem is sustainability, but the manifestation is that they feel they need to contribute something to sustainability in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
So their pain point is, show me a way to do that in my normal life.
Yeah.
So I can show you a way to do that in normal life. Cameron, you said this, would you be interested in hearing more about it? Issue with it. Because that's your problem there. So the same, and then you chose restaurants.
Yeah.
Why that in particular?
Because they don't have a mechanism to show their environmental sustainability further than like the about page of their website, for example.
Oh, okay. Very good. So the restaurant actually has the problem as well.
Yes.
These are the guys who are going to pay the money, right?
Yes.
If they didn't do it, didn't use your scheme, what would happen to their business, do you think? Or do you believe? Not think, what do you believe?
Do you mean like everybody rejects it or a few reject it?
Well, so your hypothesis is that people want to be able, we want to have a way to show my commitment to sustainability in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
In my normal life. That's your pain point, if you like. Then if they don't go to the restaurant, because they've exhibited that, will the restaurant feel it? Is there enough of them to make an impact here?
I think the restaurant will feel it if they're going to the competitor across the road, who is more sustainable.
Yeah. But we don't know what's going to happen until your certification comes in.
Yes.
All right. So it's a pain point, totally get, very clear. There's a pain point for the restaurant. What's not quantified yet is the scale of the impact.
Yeah.
So your MVP is going to test the scale of the impact on this specific number here. How will you do that? I'm interested, I'm not challenging.
I don't know. That's kind of what I'm stuck on.
Yeah. So you, rest boys, sorry, Karen.
Yes. So I'm thinking this technique that you showed us is kind of like it feels more applicable to like highly innovative startups or startups that are doing something completely different to what the rest of the industry is doing. But what would you think of like using this technique in, for example, a mechanic shop? Because every mechanic shop still fixes cars.
Can I hold that thought? It's a great question. Now, well, we're going to come straight back to this Cameron's thing. How, got a collective here, collective brain, how could we help test this? This is the thing right here. We need to prove there will be impact if you don't do this. How could we do that? I don't know.
You could set up a trial for different restaurants in order to see if they get so like maybe like a couple months, see if they get more income. The only problem with that is it might just be if like with release of COVID or anything like this, so you'd have to, the data would be kind of hard to try and justify.
Because it could be other factors, right?
Yeah, but a way to mitigate that is you get the data from before COVID and during COVID, cross-reference it, then put the badge up that you want to do, and then relate that data from the certain months as well. Or you could do a longer thing and just like do a counter of how many people go in and out, and then ask them if you could take their data on how many people actually bought stuff. Of course, you need the restaurant's consent for that, but you know.
So the restaurant, so I'm the restaurant, that sounds good to me. And I'm happy to give my data because I want to know myself that it has the impact. Because in the trial, if you can show me that's true, I'm in.
Yeah.
And as long as the price is lower than the money I've lost, I'm still in. Don't have to put 3 extra. So that kind of data-based, evidence-based is probably the way to go rather than emotion. But hard to prove. Who knows?
Good idea. Would it work today? Because we're recovering from COVID.
now and you can't, yeah.
I don't know. So there's a pre-COVID data set.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of data set now, and the correlation, just because it dropped doesn't mean, because exactly it could be the COVID.
Yeah, but it was growing, right? So
Yeah.
how would you be able to determine the normal growth rate versus the growth rate?
Well, there
for sustainability?
So the restaurateurs will have some ideas about, bookings. There'll be some other data source. Bookings are confirmed. Ones are coming online. There'll be something they do that might be an indicator. And then if you agree with them, and we're going to come back to the mechanic workshop in a minute. Anytime you do a trial, doesn't matter what tech it is, mechanic shop, this tech, agree with him or her what the metrics of success in the trial are before you start. Such a schoolboy error I've made so many times in not agreeing that up front. And get in the trial, and sure it's successful, we go, and so metrics, and this is a big one, right? Mr. Restaurateur, if I prove this is true, what will you do? Will you buy my system? What action will you take, which is the sales action there? Same thing. So we've looked back straight to here. He's taken a sales action, including giving you money. Make sense? It is that simple. And when you talk to these guys, when I said you get a reaction emotionally, you talk to somebody who's got a problem, and if you've hit the nail on the head, you won't be able to get to shut up. Trust me, they'll just be going at you about it. Because it's so deeply held and seated that they figure out. Mechanics workshops.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
So I'm thinking, with this technique that you showed us, it would be like targeted towards like more innovative startups or something. They're solving a problem that no one else has ever solved before.
Not necessarily. I could be doing it better than somebody else.
Yeah.
What if it's in
But
your
what I'm
area?
thinking of is like, for example, a mechanic shop. Every mechanic shop will still do the same thing. If you bring your car and they set ACs or whatever, they'll all fix your AC.
Yep.
So they're still solving that. They're like a painkiller.
Yeah.
But how could, for example, I can't think of like one thing off my head, but like it's a store that has branches everywhere. Why are they more successful than just a local mechanic shop?
So,
That's not the same problem.
yeah, no,
It's
so-
just like change.
so all mechanic shops do the same thing. What you're saying? Fine. My pain point is car doesn't work. Fix it. Great. Money. Fine. I'm paying. It's the guys who have the biggest shops have found a way to take share off other people. So you could do that by price. You could do that by brand or reputation. But you could do it by offering service that no one else does. So every garage I would think will regas your aircon, I guess, or most of them will do. Doesn't matter to people that want my aircon regassed in a sustainable way. To steal cameras one. If you could do it, you're the only guy doing it, you're going to win that business. But they're competing at a different level because mechanic shops don't innovate, I wouldn't have thought, very much. They just fix your car. They don't really think about it. If you could find a way of getting business to switch to them from other people, that's innovation. I can't think what it'd be. It's not my world, but you can certainly do it. No, that's good. It does apply to existing businesses, and the big companies do this really well. The guys who kind of go, you guys have heard of a thing called a cash cow?
A what?
A cash cow? You know what a cash cow is?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. One of the companies that I'm an investor in right now is an insurance company. Has one product, which I could talk about as well, and we have they had a cash cow, which is making money in the US, doing really well, very simple play. And they said, no, we want to go to the next thing. We want to do the next bigger cow, and they shot that one. They actually just stopped selling it. And I'm like, what? So find out doing innovation thing, there's a skunk work over the side. Well, what on earth are you doing with your cash cow that's paying your bills and your lights and that's just daft. Anyway, but the market value there was there. So this shows market value. The biggest growth sector in retail across the world is online, right? The biggest growth within that is cross-border. People are buying from overseas. Biggest single growth. Biggest markets that are outbound for selling cross-border in order are, surprise, surprise, China, US, UK. Outbound markets. US last year, $795 billion of cross-border trade.
How much of that was Amazon?
Uh,
That would be interesting to know.
Bugger all. They sell very little cross-border.
Do they really?
Yeah, about 90% is domestic.
Really? No, I didn't know that.
That's why they have Amazon in Germany, France,
Oh.
US, etc.
Right, okay.
What would be, you guys all bought overseas?
Yeah.
Together. What are the biggest pain points about buying from overseas?
Shipping.
Here we go. Shipping.
And handling as well.
Shipping handling, okay. I heard another one.
The wait, or the time it takes.
Time, okay.
90 seconds in the shipping.
Customs duties, taxes.
Yep. What else are you worried about when you buy it? You about to hit the button? What are you worried about?
Scans.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right, I'm buying a laptop from the US. Dirt cheap. What's the single biggest thing I'm worried about?
If it's broken or not.
It doesn't work when I get here. And the next problem,
Is
What?
it's hard to repair because it's all the way in.
it shits itself 3 months later. And now I've got to get a claims number, call Amazon, send it back, get it assessed, get it fixed. So the abandonment on high-tech products cross-border is over 90%. For that reason, people go, no. I'm not going to buy and spend more money in New Zealand so I can go around the corner and see the mechanic and get it fixed. So, called faults. So this company we're talking about, we've spent 3 years researching this and prototyping. All of these, there are 3 big ones. And it's the same in every single country. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. In every single country in the world, cross-border purchases are the biggest things they call out. So the product they've come up with is, they could say, right, Cameron, I'm not picking Cameron because you'll name a note, I'm not picking on you. You get a laptop from the US, Cameron, you're going to buy it from Amazon or a reputable company. I'm going to sell you a warranty product, which means that any of these 5 things goes wrong, I will give you a remedy in Auckland in 7 days, repair, replace, or refund.
Mm-hmm.
Are you interested in looking at buying that?
Yes.
You'd be more interested.
Right? Because it's not insurance, it's a low fee compared to what you expect to pay. So a $1,000 laptop, say, from the US, 1 year cover, $27. It's just more than the shipping. What do you think the hit rate of buying with that was? So they call the attach rate. How many did you attach? For 100 sales, how many did you get? So Dick Smith, no naming, when they try and scam you for an extended warranty, please never buy extended warranty. I'll explain why. In a shop, with the guy selling it to you, their attach rate is about 5%. They get 1 in 20. This one we're talking about was 44.
Jesus.
Nearly half. Okay, is this good business? Do you have a good pain point? Good proposition? So the pilot we ran was from US to Canada. Have any of you guys ever heard of a company in the States called Newegg? Newegg? They sell PC components. So if you're a gamer, PC dude,
Oh, wait, yes, I have heard of them.
you know, they sell a $4,000 US graphics chip.
Yeah, I've got a
feel
GTX
why?
R3090.
Weird, right?
It's the best one on the market.
So US, Canada, those kind of components, it ran for, I'll say 10 months. I think it was 9 months. 10 months, just US, Canada, so 1 trade route, nowhere else. 66,000 policies. Guess how many claims they got? And this is why this is a good business.
0.
So 66,000 sold, how many claims do we get?
6,000.
1,000.
1,200.
Wow.
Good business, right? And the problem they solve is just asking many, many customers these many questions, create a direct value proposition to answer it. As Cameron said, I'm interested in hearing more, at least. And then they buy it.
Do you know of those 1,200? Do you know which of the 5 was the most common?
Yes.
Which was it?
So, because of going US to Canada, which is a slightly different thing, the biggest one was that one.
Right.
It also is high tech, right?
Yeah.
So that was number 1. Scams was number 2 because it's a marketplace, and that one came all the way down.
Wait. So if it was the place was PC Egg, right?
So the company called Newegg.
New Egg. Sorry. So how would you get scams? Because if it's a reputable.
Because Newegg's a marketplace. Like
It's a marketplace, right? Yep.
and they sell it and take the money and pass it to the merchant.
So it's a third party.
Third-party scams, right?
Yeah.
Have any of you guys ever bought trainers from overseas, or shoes, or... Yeah, right, okay. So, Puma. Puma's so cool, or are they old school now? No,
It's
okay.
Nike now.
Well, I'll change it. I'll call it Adidas, because they're cool now, because they're retro. So Puma, who were selling out in the UK, they were sold by one of the big retailers in the UK. They had a huge problem with that, with the scam thing. Not because it was intentional. What happened, people would buy the shoe, get the Pumas, swap them for a pair of counterfeit ones, and then return them as unwanted.
Oh.
So they do the Puma, or Dudes, whatever it was, went, oh yeah, they go back in stock, that's fine. Back in stock, get sold to you, you've just bought counterfeit unknowingly to the retailer. So retailers say, well, that's disgraceful, that's not a problem for me, you're saying that I'm a crook. No, I'm not. I'm saying your customers are being affected by this, so you need to fix it.
Right.
So the beauty of this thing, that we've all agreed, do business, very simple, market validation. This is the customer. For the partner, for the Newegg, what's my value proposition to you guys running the partner? If you're Newegg,
We know which problems we need to fix first, or we know which ones we need to look out for.
so what's the pain point for Newegg that I'm fixing?
Faults, shipping, and scams.
Which means,
There's more money, high sales.
and increased customer satisfaction.
Oh yeah.
So number 1 for Newegg, here's some free money. You were selling this product anyway. I'll just give you a $27 plan between us girls and boys. We give them 50 points margin. So here's $13.50. The margin on that sale you weren't getting yesterday. It's all yours. And what you have to do for that? Nothing. Because we take care of the problem for you. So as the CEO of Unix said, when I talked to him last year in LA, he said, so you've taken away all of that aggravation for us and increased our customer sat, and you give us money. And that was a problem. That was value problem. Anybody else in business here we want to look at? It's easy stuff, isn't it?
Oh, damn, the man with the van. Let's go.
I'm doing a mobile bicycle repair business.
Right.
So I'm solving a few problems. So the main problems I've found when talking to customers or potential customers is wait times. At the moment are about 2 months at most big bike shops. As well as, I can't remember the word, but inconvenience to taking the bike to a bike shop, then having to pick it up again, and also unprofessional staff at the bike shop.
Is that a universal problem?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Definitely is.
It depends on the
Oh yeah.
industry.
You mean
Yeah.
unprofessional
yeah.
or unknowledgeable, not very good, hopeless?
There's only 2 shops of professional bike mechanics in Auckland, for free.
What do the rest do?
EC Cycles, Kiwi Bello, and Mount Pekin Cycles.
What do the rest do?
Hire kids like us.
Okay.
Well, not like Dan.
Yeah. All right, so the problem is clearly held by a bike owner.
Yeah.
So I'm the bike owner. And my problem is, I'm at time, because inconvenience is time, isn't it? Same thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't have time for inconvenience or waiting, and the guys that we're going to see before aren't very skilled. So how does the problem manifest itself to me?
To the customer.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
So if I was to ask the bike guy
Yeah.
or lady, and they said, oh, these things are true, so how does that manifest to you? It costs you more money, or is it time thing important? Is the money thing important? What's the pain point?
Well, it takes, well, you have to wait for your bike,
Right.
which either means you have a bike that's not worked properly for 2 months, which you have to keep riding, and also lots of people commute to work,
Yeah.
especially with the increase in gas prices. I've noticed that with my business. So if people can't ride to work at the moment, then it's costing them money.
Okay.
It also costs the bike shop because often they hold the bikes too much
They have,
to hold the bikes. Some bike shops do that.
right,
It's illegal for them.
okay. So, this is bike owner, these are the issues. Your problem is time and money, is what you're using there. I'm going to provide a mobile service with a authorised or a skilled, what do you call it, certified bike mechanic.
Yeah.
And what's the last way? You can say for the same money or for a slight premium?
There will have to be a premium because you have to drive to their house.
Right, okay. So at the bike shop, we're going to pay X.
$200.
If I come to you, I'm going to pay Y.
Yeah.
Is that much bigger than X
Um,
in your model?
currently, that's what I'm looking at the moment.
Right, so you're CBC, so I'd expect that if I'm paying $200 here,
Yeah.
big, hairy holiday right here, how much money will they pay?
220.
What do you guys think?
220? No, I reckon you'd have to go at least 260, maybe 300.
So from the product, but this is, I'll talk to this guy here, you articulated the problem very well. How much are you going to pay me to not have to go to the bike shop? I've already signed it, I know I'm paying this, right? So I know I'm going to pay you that. Your product is the difference. How much will I pay you to not have this? What do you think, boys? What does it feel like?
Extra near $100.
You pay an extra 100.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I pay an extra 60.
60.
30, 40.
40? Everyone feel like they're kind of, 40, 60, 50 benchmark? So you can make at least 40 points on every thing. Is that enough to make money?
Well,
Remembering you're getting this already.
yeah. So that's my needle here.
This is the mechanic. Maybe to give that money to the mechanic and parts. This is your money. But can you create a profitable business from that?
I think so.
I reckon.
Yeah.
And there'll be other problems that they have as well, which is, I want to buy some fancy kit, but I can't be able to go and get it.
Yeah.
Can you sell me something while you're here? That's a pain point, right?
That's the other part I was looking at, which I'm integrating in class.
So when you ask the Garrigal CVP, ask them what other stuff is.
Okay. Thanks.
Because you find out, bike owners spend far too much money on their bike.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Far too much money.
Thank you very much.
Cool. We're probably out of time now. Any questions? What time is it?
We got plenty of time.
Oh, good. Good. Carry on.
We got like half an hour.
Good. Do you want to bit of fun at my expense? I'll tell you about my worst start-up, if you like.
Yes.
Right.
What did you do wrong?
What did I do wrong? So, 1998, CDs just went on sale online. That's the first year they were sold online.
You guys know what CDs are?
Yes, miss. We're not that.
Just checking.
And we
This circular, yeah, like
and
McDonald's.
we just had the internet.
Oh.
No mobile phones, really. Right, so see the internet. So I was director of marketing for Europe for Microsoft, my buddy was director of marketing for Microsoft in APAC. We both left, loved music, heard about this, said, oh, it's a cool idea. So we flew to New York and we started a music company. Because that's what you do right when you're stupid. You think?
Yeah.
Because we want to create the world's best CD selling site. That was going to be our plan. The only company selling CDs was a company called CD Now, based in Pennsylvania. Went to see them, lovely guy. We then went to see Amazon, who were not selling music at that point, and nothing like the Amazon they are now.
Selling
They were books and video.
Yeah.
That's all they sold. So two things happened. One, we invested, which was very clever. But then they said, oh yeah, we're going to spend $50 million on customer acquisition for music in the next year. So we're screwed, right? Because we can't compete with that. And they're Amazon, and they've got millions of customers, and it's not going to work. So, CD, selling it to you. We thought we'd be the website. Can't do that. Where's the biggest problem about buying a CD on a website?
Shipping.
Damage in the shipping.
That's us. No, so you're buying it inside the US.
Oh, right, okay, so inside.
True. You're on a website. You're buying some music. What's your biggest single problem?
Oh, you don't know if the music's good or not, do you? Because you can't hear it. Because
Yeah, you can't
it's
test
a
it.
CD, you can't test. Yeah.
There you go.
You don't know if the Beatles sound good on their live version or their studio. Huh?
How many songs you want to CD?
13.
I like CDs. CDs are nice. Same with records. They're really
So do
good.
you know how many tracks people buy CD for normally? One. One track. I'll prove that to you in a second. Anyway, so I'm on the website. I'm buying a CD. I don't know if syndicated. It's a very good one. But what I also don't know is, what are the tracks on the album? What's the cover art? What's the reviews on it? I don't know anything about the music at all. Nothing. So we thought we'd do this website thing, but actually, the issue the website guys had was that it's called the metadata. It's the data about the thing.
Yeah.
So the track listing, the cover art, the data, the reviews. And on the thing here, the track listing here, goes on the CD because you guys are way too young. On the inside of the CD, there's a little inner ring. I would think something called the table of contents, which tells you electronically what the data is, what tracks are, and it's never agrees with what's on the cover. It's always wrong. Anyway, so metadata, don't have it, so therefore people are not going to buy. So I want to have the cover art, I want the track listing, I want a little review thing by Rolling Stone to tell me it's good, peer reviews, because most people hear music from a friend on the radio. That was then, remember, not now. But now it'd be Spotify, right? So all this data. So what we did, we provided the metadata for all the MD. We created a company, we built metadata, so we bought 400,000 CDs. We hired 600 people out of uni for the summer of '98 in New York, and we built this database like this, by hand, with 600 kids from university doing that. In the summer, we then went to Amazon, Yahoo, everybody selling CDs and said, you can have this data, but you give us a fraction of every CD you sell. Because your pain point is not the data, and our pain point is the wrong money. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What did we not see? Here's the error.
You already got it.
Hey?
Did they already have it?
No,
No.
nobody had it. Nobody had it. Two big problems we didn't validate.
Was this still 1998?
1998.
Okay, so
Late 98, we're selling Amazon, we've done the license deal,
right.
they're shipping it, they're selling CDs.
Next to come out.
Oh,
Naps.
Yeah,
we didn't see it coming. Inside all this the metadata, of course, like you're finding the bike thing or whichever. The one single thing of this data that drives sales? What's the one thing of this page of stuff about the CD?
Price.
Table of contents.
Important, but not the one.
Was the price not on it? Price of the CD.
I want to hear it.
Oh
The
yeah.
actual music.
I want to hear it. I want to hear the music. Is that the song I heard on the radio this morning? If it is, I'm buying it. If it's not, I'm not. So everything we did, market validation, complete enough to waste the money. So 90% of what we did in that year, so we bought CDs, that cost us $1.3 million US.
Jesus.
Wasted. Didn't need them.
Well, how much that would be worth now in 1998?
Oh, so Tony and I, the guy I talked about in my partner, we had the biggest private library of CDs in the world at
Wow.
one point.
That's impressive.
Anyway,
And
if
now
I-
they're all worth nothing.
if you attach the music to the track listing so somebody can hear it, the conversion rate of sales to a page that didn't have a track listing was 800%. Which we proved in like a week. We put some up, we took it down. So that was our mistake right there. So we ripped a 30-second sound sample of every track and every CD ever published. Added the data and then it sold.
Doesn't sound like a mistake though. It sounds like you guys did really well.
Yeah.
But really bad validation.
Oh,
This
okay.
was totally pointless. We didn't have to do this. And as a funny aside, or a thing at the end, as soon as the soundtracks went live on Amazon, we were sued for breach of copyright. Because, don't know if you guys know about music, there are 7 different kinds of copyright. Mechanical, artistic, royalty, artist, performance. So mechanical copyright about music is, can I identify the piece of music from the thing that you have? Well, clearly you can, because that's why we ripped it.
It was royalty, wasn't it?
So the fact you could hear that sample on the internet was a breach of mechanical copyright, and we were sued by the RIAA. We're the first company to be sued for breaching of copyright in the internet age.
Yeah.
So that was our second mistake. Anyway, we fixed that one. But that, market validation, if we just asked the question, we wouldn't have spent all this money and time. Didn't have to do it.
Still, that's impressive.
Well, it wasn't really. That was a shit ton of money.
No. I'm not saying about the money. I'm saying that it is impressive business.
At that time.
And the last bit, this is startups. Sorry, carry on.
What do you do with the copyright? If you guys got sued for copyright?
How do we fix the problem? We went to the RIAA, that's the guys in New York, and we said, look, I tell you what, we'll give you a fraction of the money and you can return it to the artist, if that's what you want. And they said, no, because we do that, we're accepting the fact, we're allowing you to breach copyright. We can't do that. So we end up putting, I think 15% of the funds into a separate holding account in case it all went wrong. And we agreed a settlement where that was given to a Performing Rights Society, which is a charity for musicians. That's how we got away with it.
Okay.
Very much.
What made you think you needed all that metadata?
We just charged that. You know, we talked to one guy, we looked at the website and went, oh shit, he needs all the data about the CDs, he needs the cover art, he needs the things. We just assumed that what one guy said was true. The guy who ran CD Now. But it turns out that was just his thing. And we just blindly went, oh cool, well let's go and spend millions doing that then. Rather than asking the guys at Amazon specifically, or the guys at Yahoo, and then the guys at, you know, back to this thing here, we didn't do this bit. We did one cycle, and then just went like that. So, and the last one was, so this is startups. It does apply to guys who are existing businesses. It also applies in corporates, right? So, at Vodafone, what's the one thing the CEO is going to be fired for, apart from being inappropriate? What's the thing that he or she worries about the most at a food company?
Health and safety.
Kind of.
Phone company.
Kind of.
Oh, fine. I thought you said food. My bad.
Oh no, so I'm the CEO at Vodafone. What do I worry about every day? What's my biggest single thing I worry about? What's my pain point?
Not turning over profit.
True. Which is a trailing indicator of what?
Sales. Success of the business.
Which, and if my sales are going down, that's because
Losing customers.
and it's the movement. Combine those two things. The single thing he or she would be filed for is a thing they call churn.
Okay.
So people leave Vodafone and they go 2 degrees. For the reasons you guys have articulated. If this happens for a month, it's like, think yourself. Month 2, please explain. Q3, yellow card. If it happens 4 consecutive quarters, he's going to get the boot. He's out. He or she is out. It happens here, happens everywhere else. So the thing he or she cares about is churn, even over profit. Because that drives these things up there. So if you had a product here, and you're going to talk to 3 CEOs in New Zealand, because oligopoly. I've got a software product that when deployed on a smartphone, we think will reduce that by 5%. Is he or she going to want to know more? Yeah. Because this is on their scorecard. Now whether you can do it or not is different. But the pain point applies to biggest corporates, not just startups.
Is that example mainly to data companies like Vodafone or like CEOs? Would they all be fired if their company had too much churn? Because I do know that streaming websites like Netflix have and Disney Plus have insane amounts of churn.
Yeah.
Because they release like 30-day free trials and things like that.
Yeah.
And for months and months they'll have insane amounts of churn, but obviously the CEOs won't get fired for that.
So Netflix, they will have insane churn, which is planned because they do trials, they know that people do it. Their backers are betting on them getting market share. So their money guys, their board money guys, don't care so much about churn, they care about, are you adding net subscribers? So is your marketing acquisition bigger than churn? If it is, you're cool. It keeps going, but your point's well made, it keeps going backwards, it's not cool. They will then be in trouble.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, gentlemen, anything I can do to help you with your projects? Let me know. Karen's got my phone number. I'll happy to call. I'm going to send me an email with your stage you're at and ask some questions about it. Happy to help with that.
Totally good question.
I was just going to ask, why did you try to take your business to like the likes of Amazon rather than try to like do it yourself and start your own website selling?
Which one?
The music one.
CD.
The like CD one?
Oh, okay. Because
50 million or something in there.
they weren't selling music. We usually knew they would be a powerhouse. And if we went and did it with them, they'd be our only customer. So we decided to use the kind of marketing strategy. We became an arms supplier, not a soldier. We just sell guns everybody. It's always a good way of making money and staying independent. That's a good question. So good luck, gents. I'm here, happy to help.
Any other questions? No? I'd like to say thank you to Duncan for coming in. I think it's good. I think he's validated what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks and what we've been learning with the stuff we've been doing online, with our course, what CJ said. So I think it's just more of the same, and hopefully you guys are getting the message how important this is, how simple it is, but how important it is. Cameron has got something to say.
Yes, on behalf of Westlake Openground and the boys here today, just extend a huge thank you for all of the sharing of expertise and knowledge. So, as a token of our appreciation, we've got a little present for you. And just know that if you're passing by, you're always welcome here. Come have a chat.
Thank you, Cameron. Thank you.